Hi, Robin with Oxy-Dry, and I'm in my garage, and we're going to talk about cleaning equipment a little bit. I'm actually taking a day off, and it's Friday. I actually work tomorrow, so my wife gave me the day off, and there's my neighbor over there who's very fussy about his lawn. He's already thatched it, and I think he mowed it, and my lawn, I haven't touched it yet. Anyway, beautiful day today. A little cool this morning though, but we're not here to talk about weather. We're here to talk about this machine right here. So this was my, if you've been watching my channel, you know I mentioned that I picked up a small portable extractor, which will be primarily, well, I'm sure I'll only ever use it for furniture cleaning. I don't even have a wand with it. I don't want to get a wand. I don't need a wand. I have another self-contained machine that I use when I do subsurface extraction, when I'm doing urine jobs, and other than that I have no use for using an extractor like this. But for furniture cleaning, I wanted to have something as a alternative to my Von Schroeder, which is sitting right there. Not that I have any complaints about it, except there's been some issues with Von Schroeder themselves, and that has me concerned, and I wanted to be sure that I would not be caught high and dry if something critical were to break in that machine and I couldn't get a part. I wanted to be able to have something as an alternative, and although I'm not really obviously being VLM, I'm really concerned about getting things too wet. But with in the last well, probably 15 years or so, there's been such an advancement with these dripless and jetless tools. We're getting dry times that would be, in many cases, equivalent what I'd be getting with the Von Schroeder anyway. So, and this is a Sapphire Scientific tool, which I'll get to that in a sec. We'll focus on the machine first of all. So this is the E600, and this is the E600 with heat. You can get it without heat, but I figured that if I were using it almost exclusively for furniture, I wanted to have the option of having good heat or not. So it has a separate cord. This is actually the cord for the heat, and of course that'll be for the main machine with the vacuum and the pump, and it is a 150 psi pump. The vacuum, I think if you look up the E600 specs, you'll find I think the vacuum is around 95 inches of water lift, and I think it's like 110 CFM or something like that, which is going to be completely adequate for furniture cleaning because, well, fabrics are obviously pretty thin anyway, and if I'm going to be cleaning any furniture, or anytime I'm cleaning furniture, I'm going to be using either this tool or the PMF dripless tool, which I ordered, and they have twice sent me the wrong tool, so we're trying again. They sent me a, what do you call it now? He goes, no, you didn't get the dripless one, you got the drip one. Okay, we laughed about that a little bit because that's not what I want, obviously. Anyway, I think this machine weighs 66 pounds, about that. So it's really not that heavy a machine. I mean, it's easy to pick up. And oh, by the way, look at this. Isn't that handy dandy? So the handle folds down, so it does fit in the back of my van. And I'll do another video where I show how I've got it put in the van, for those of you who are wondering how I managed to get this and my other upholstery machine in there, and my rotary and 2 or 3 vacuums and everything else. It's actually all fits in my van, believe it or not. But anyway, this handle will latch in place, and you just turn that device right there, and there we go. So now I've got a handle for pushing it, you know, around and whatever, and so that works really well. And picking it up, there's you can hold it here, I guess, and there's a handle right underneath here, and it picks up pretty easy. And I have a gallon, I just put a gallon of water in there, and still it's not bad. So it's a nice compact unit. Of course, the controls are right here, Here's the pump and the heater. Oh, it's not plugged in, so it's not going to turn on. And the vacuum. Obviously, this is where the fresh water goes. And it does hold 6 gallons. When you look into it, it sort of gives you an impression that it doesn't hold that much, because there's actually like a kind of a box look shaped in there, and I guess the pump is in there, but the water actually goes all around it as well as up on top. So apparently it holds a total of 6 gallons. I've put 4 gallons in there, and no problem. But apparently it'll hold 6. And the recovery tank has got a nice lid on it, and you turn that and pops open, and of course there we go. There's the recovery tank, and the filter's right there. And I guess it's probably got a little ball thing in there for making sure you don't overflow it and suck through the motor. Overall, it's a really nice looking unit. Roto-molded, seems to be good quality, I think. That's my impression. It's even this lid here is, I mean, that's stainless steel. Be impressive. My father-in-law would be impressed with that. He used to work in a place where they worked with stainless steel. So, but overall, definitely, it's a good looking machine. Compact. The handle folds down so it'll fit into, particularly if you're using a smaller van, you're probably looking for something that'll fit, not take up too much space. So that's definitely a good option. This is the Esteem E600, and I guess the 6 stands for the 6 gallons. It has a 150 psi pump, and the other option, of course, is to go a little larger machine like a Ninja, so you're going to go from 6 gallons to, I guess the Ninja is 10 or 12 gallons. I can't even remember now. I used to use one years ago, but I can't even remember what the size of them gallons are. But obviously a much bigger machine, and I did consider that briefly when I was looking at this machine, but I would have to, it would really occupy a lot of space in my van, and I just don't have that option. My only real concern about this machine is how many times will I dump and fill it when doing a job, because I can literally we can go for 2 or 3 hours with that machine without dumping it, because it holds a total of 2 gallons, but it goes a very long time because it's generating the liquid into a foam. Whereas this, of course, is using straight liquid. Now, when we used it last week, and Roger actually was using it, my friend Roger, and we did what, 4 single mattresses, both sides, and he was using this tool, so we'll talk about this a little bit. Oh, one more thing, I just wanted to show you that when I bought these hoses, which, it's a swivel cuff. Isn't that nice? Actually, on both ends. So I bought a hose, that's a 15-foot, the blue hose is 15 foot, because when I bought the shear dry, which I'm going to talk about now, I was kind of disappointed how short this hose is. It's just not long enough. If you're doing a sectional or something, you'd have to move that machine 2 or 3 times to reach from one end to the other, so I went and bought the extra hose. So let's talk about the shear dry now. Again, my impressions of this is that this is a very well-made tool. I chose this one after reading many comments and reviews and watching quite a number of videos on it, and decided this was probably the way to go. It does have a vacuum relief right there. This is, I think, fiberglass resin, so apparently really strong. The valve is right here, but you can also lock the valve in the on position, or you can use it as an on-off, which if you're using a portable like this, chances are you're going to be doing the on-off so that you can control, so you can use less water, because that'll always be a concern. And the, I don't know what you call that exactly. That's the, where the water is applied. And I don't know if you can see in the camera, but those little holes right there is where the water actually comes out, and it goes forward and into the vacuum slot, and there's a vacuum slot behind it. So you actually can clean going forward and back. And that's one of the things that Roger mentioned he really liked about it, is he can clean backward and forward, and he thought it was really maneuverable, easy to use, and it did clean well. And we did the 4 mattresses, and we used a total of 6 gallons. He had done it when I was doing something else, and then afterwards I was talking to him. I said, so what did you use in total? We put 4 in at the beginning, 4 gallons in, and then he came and he reloaded it again. He said, I'm just going to try with 2 more gallons. I think that's all I'll need. And then he finished it off, so he used a total of 6 gallons. And the other question, of course, we're all wondering is, well, how dry was it? Did it, how long did the mattresses take to dry? And we went back within 30 minutes, and although there was a couple of spots that were damp, most of the mattresses were actually feeling dry within 30 minutes. So I would say within 30 to 45 minutes, the fabric on those mattresses were dry. So that was definitely encouraging. And he said that it cleaned really well. If there was a spot or whatever that he was dealing with, there was a few stains on the mattresses. He said he just pulled the trigger on and went back and forth, and the heat would build up, because we did plug in both the heater and the vacuum, obviously, but we were using the heater in that case, and he said it definitely got much warmer as he went back and forth. You could feel the fabric getting warmer with the heated 200 degree, by the way. It goes to 200 degrees. So he was very pleased with it, very impressed, and overall, at the moment, we're both feeling that it is an excellent machine. My only hesitation is, well, I'm so used to using the Von Schroeder now. It's been like 25 years, almost 25 years since I used a hot water extractor for cleaning furniture, so I'm a little bit out of my comfort zone right at the moment when I go to use this, but I do need to use it because I bought the thing. And maybe, it'll be interesting to compare how this works compared to this, as far as speed, cleaning ability, and amount of water we're going through, and of course the dry time. Will they be equal, or will one be like, will I like the Von Schroeder still like it much better, or will I like this better? Or I suspect it'll depend on the fabric and the style of couch. And before I forget, there's one more thing I wanted to mention about this machine. And if we go down here, can you hear that? What you're hearing, and I think this is an excellent thing. Let's see if I can show that. There is a fan, a cooling fan here, and that is a really good thing to have. And I can already feel the air moving out of here. And especially using a machine with a heater in it, you definitely want to be seeing a cooling fan as part of the design of the machine, because the heaters particularly will really heat up the inside of these machines. And the heating unit in here, if you take a look on the specs of the machine, and there's a breakdown of the parts. I think I got a book on this machine, and it shows the heater. And it's interesting because it's I think it's an aluminum body in there, so that's interesting. Meaning it's not going to rust. Could corrode depending on what you're putting through the machine, I guess. But I would be careful of what you would use anyway. And if you're using something that is potentially corrosive to aluminum, then you'll want to flush it out after you've used it. I don't expect I'll have that problem, but because I won't be using anything nasty like that. But anyway, let's turn it on. Turn on the pump. So what the jets are there, Trying to make sure you can see this. When I put my finger on that, right across there, and I pull the trigger, it's still, I can feel the water going across here, no problem. As soon as you put it down on the fabric, of course, it's going to seal to the fabric, and what's happening is that the water isn't being sprayed into the fabric, it's actually being pulled across the fabric, so you don't get penetration through the fabric. And that is what results in a much drier fabric when you're done. So it's kind of cool to be able to see what you're picking up out of the fabric. So having it clear like that is, that's kind of neat, eh? So I do have a job on Monday, furniture cleaning, so I'll probably use it then. And I just put hot water in the machine, and right now I'm just feeling that the water is now quite warm. I don't have the heater on, but I can feel that the water is, you know, I can feel the warmth of the water. Hey, let's try this. Slightly damp. No moisture through the sleeves. I have a sheet over here. Let's try this. Really thin. So this would be like a cotton fabric. Hang on a minute. Well, it certainly is. It's damp, but very little dampness there. But the real world will be where we want to see how it works in cleaning various fabrics. So I'll be getting back to you guys on this machine and how well I like the way it cleans. So we'll see what happens, and keep posted, keep watching, and I'll be showing you more videos on this machine hopefully in the near future. Have a good day.